KINA 910 AM and 107.5 FM is the #1 talk radio station in Salina, featuring Coffee Talk in the mornings with Sean Hannity and Mark Levin in the afternoons. KINA is your stadium for the world champion Kansas City Chiefs and the home of Southeast of Saline sports. Local news, sports, and talk. KINA 910 AM and 107.5 FM.
94.5 FM KG Prime is Salina's favorite classic pop hit station. Playing all the songs you love from the 80s and 90s, Prime is the at-work station you listen to all day long. Playing the greatest hits on earth. 94.5 Prime FM.
99 FM KSKG is the #1 station in Salina and Manhattan. Home to Bobby Bones in the morning and afternoons with Shane McClintock. 99 KG delivers the best of today's hot country with concerts, contests, and 40-minute music sweeps every hour. 99 KG is Central Kansas's home for new country.
97.5 FM KJCK is Central Kansas's station for all the hits. The most hit music every hour to get you through your day. Power Hits 97.5 is a highly rated top 40 station playing today's best music, serving Salina with the perfect blend of current hits. All the hits, all the time. Power Hits 97.5.
SalinaPost.com is Salina's #1 news source. Our local news team has their fingers on the pulse of the city, breaking important stories impacting our community. Salina Post is also your home for live streaming local sports. Your 24/7 local news leader, SalinaPost.com.
Eagle Radio Salina is more than just your favorite radio stations. We are your creative partner for the web. We can craft digital marketing plans unique to your needs. Our creative team creates amazing digital ads for the web. We also offer outstanding video production for your website, YouTube, Facebook, Hulu, and more. Let our Eagle team help you soar. Discover the power of today's radio and digital platforms.
Think about the word precision. Precision is being exact and accurate. Isn't that what you want when it comes to electrical? Precision Electric in Salina brings exact and accurate quality to electrical jobs in central Kansas since 2003. Precision Electric's focus on quality and performance, combined with their experience and dedication, creates a winning set of finished products which saves their customers money. Precision Electrical Contractors is looking for licensed journeyman electricians as well as apprentice electricians. Apply online at pecsalina.com.
Hello and welcome into another edition of the Coach Ron O'Neill Show. We're at AJ's in the Alley, downtown Salina. It's our Tuesday appointment that we get together. And sometimes, we have a blast on the show, don't get me wrong. Sometimes before the show is the best part. Today is no different. It's just kind of catching up on events and current news of the day, and that's what's been going on here today as the Salina Liberty get ready to play in the semifinals of the AFL playoffs. They are set to trip to the East Coast. Talk about that. We'll talk about the game that qualified them for the game in Albany coming up this Saturday. And we'll also have a guest, which we get to know, Salina Liberty player. I don't even know if I want to give him a position at this point, Ja'Cory Sullivan. So
just say athlete.
Yeah. So Ja'Cory's in the house. We'll talk to him coming up as our player profile, brought to you by Precision Electric. And the Coach O Show here on yet another Victory Tuesday after a 41-35 victory over the Southwest Kansas Storm. And I know this is the Coach O Show, and we're talking Liberty football and all that, but I want to start out, Coach. First of all, congratulations on the win.
Thank
Yet another one. Keep the train rolling, right?
That. Yep.
I want to start out, though, with Southwest Kansas, the respect for them, how they came in, how they played hard. All three games this year. We talked about the last game, matchups. Our last Coach's Show we had, matchups and how some teams just cannot get away from each other.
Right.
This series has been a series where you got away from each other, but then you'd reel the other one back in and just have a heck of an ending every single time. I think if these two teams signed up for a 7-game series, I think everybody would be in. This was one heck of a game, entertainment-wise, and I think nothing but respect goes to them, their players, their staff, how they do things. If you're going to have two teams in the state of Kansas in the playoffs, these are the two teams because, boy, everything about it was just awesome.
Yeah, and I tip my hat to Jamie Phillips and that ownership group there that done everything they needed to do to make sure their team was ready to go. How they came into the game and they jumped on us early. It was 9-0 really, really quick. And it's like we were kind of sleepwalking, so to say, and they were punching us all day. So it was cool to kind of see how we would respond to that. But the thing about this team that's different than a lot, we have a lot of heart. And when you have heart like that it's nothing that a coach is saying. It's nothing that an ownership group is saying. It's nothing that the fans are doing. It's the heart that pumps between the two shoulders of these athletes that we have. And the respect factor, yes, that they have of their opponent, but more respect of they knew they wasn't playing the game that they needed to be playing to have it in a winning type situation. So just how they bounced back, how they took the coaching, they didn't whine. There was no infighting or anything like that, because that's what you usually see when things start going bad. And I've been on some bad teams. I mean, I played, like I said, professionally 7 years, and I've been coaching 19 years, and I've been a part of probably 1 or 2 seasons that was not all that well. And when things start going bad, people start doing that. You, it's your fault, it's your fault. None of that happened. And the leadership of this team, now true, it starts at the top, great ownership that we have here. Without them, we wouldn't even be here right now. So I did my post about that on Facebook because I love them to death, because some of the things that they have done, they didn't have to do. But they make it so conducive to playing football and me coaching football that I don't have to worry about any of that other stuff. That's not always been the case where I've been. So I do cherish that piece. But back to the game, our players and how they came out, and we were flat. But we didn't stay flat for the whole time. That second quarter, we exploded. And when we exploded, they couldn't keep up at that point. But then I told them at halftime, they're coming back. I'm telling you that right now. And they did, and that's a great testament to Coach Gary, Coach Sheck, the adjustments they made and the things that they did. Nothing but respect to the Southwest Kansas Storm. And it was a great game like all of them have been. And like I said, on all the interviews leading up to that game, it's going to come down to the end. It's not going to be a blowout one way or the other. And I think it was very entertaining to our fans. They willed us to a win. And I think it was entertaining to all the people that watched it on CBS Sports Network. It was a very entertaining game to watch. So very proud that, again, we're in the AFL, a historic league, and to play a game like that, it's an instant classic is what I call that.
And it was such a joy to watch, too, from a fan standpoint, which I got a chance to be on Saturday. There wasn't a lot of fighting amongst the teams. There wasn't a lot of jawing back and forth. It was just an ultimate show of respect, I thought. These two teams, they were going to battle it out to the very end, till the very final second, which they did. And then at the end, it was the ultimate sign of respect. Everybody hugged it out. Everybody got along. There was no arguing. It was just kind of like, you got us today. Good luck. Next round.
And that's what the coaches said. Each and every coach, each and every player hand that I shook, that's exactly what they said. Now go win it all. Respect. That was a great game. Thanks. It's a class organization, and like I said, it starts at the top. Jamie and that ownership group, and the coaching staff that they have. That was it was a show of pure class, and it's good to play games like that, especially when you have so much respect. Coach Gary, Coach Sheck, and all the other coaches. Like, I respect the heck out of those guys and what they've done and how they've moved that needle forward in their organization. It was a great game, instant classic. Just thankful we got out of there with the win.
Yeah. So when you're setting this game up, you're out doing warm-ups and just kind of looking around the arena. The doors are open, but nobody's coming in. And it's such a weird situation because that's the first afternoon game, especially for playoffs that we've ever had. It's on a holiday weekend during the summer, which is another almost impossible pull. And I'm looking over at the VIP, and the bar line that is usually 500 people deep at that moment had 2 people in it. And I started thinking, uh-oh. But then all of a sudden, about 10 minutes before pregame starts, here comes the people. Here they come. And I'm always a firm believer that you don't have to have all the people. You got to have the right people.
Absolutely.
And I think the right people were in the arena that day because it was loud on the field.
It was the loudest it's ever been in Salina ever.
Yeah.
And, yes, we've had bigger crowds, but like you said, the right people were there that understood what football was about. Dan did a great job on the mic getting them fired up. Our DJ standing in there for DJ Cash did a great job of pumping the crowd up with great music all night. But in the players getting, I'm trying to get them. I didn't have to try too hard. This was the first time since I've been here where the fans understood. I'm still sore. My arms are still sore from doing all this, but I didn't have to do too much of that because the fans are starting to catch on to it, and we did have the right fans in.
I'm glad you said that because the first quarter, I was watching you, and I was like, man, he ain't going to make it. He's going to be sore tomorrow. It's going to be a rough day. He's not going to be able to use Q-tips in his ears. And then all of a sudden, second quarter, it's just like, you let them ride. And that was the coolest thing ever. But, yeah, the noise in that place, and we know that place is this way. It's conducive to noise anyway. But, man, it was when it was time to go, it was time to go.
And it was the determining factor of all these snaps going and all this. They had everything to do with that. That had nothing to do with our, scheme or anything like that. Our fans were the true ninth man for the first time. I'm not trying to be negative Nancy or anything like that, but this was the first time since I've been here that the fans have been like that. And I just wish we could continue on and we had another game here because to build off of it. But I really think it really started with that game we had previous against the Cedar Rapids River Kings. It was the biggest crowd we've ever had since I've been here.
Yeah.
And it was loud. But this crowd was smaller by a little, but it was super, super loud. They knew when to be quiet. They knew when to be loud. And I think it's something to build on for next year. Like, we're getting the right mix of people in, but I think it had everything to do with Sam and how he got the different deals that he got and the group that he got to come in for that one game. We brought a different type fan in. And I think that carried over to this game. So I want to give credit to Sam Sellers and his ideal of doing the thing that he did, and the sponsor that it was for this game. It was big time, and it paid dividends, and it willed us to a win.
I think you're right. Really, the only other game I can think of that has been that level noise-wise was the 2022 championship against Omaha. But there was 4-1 as far as fans that day. I mean, that place was almost packed that day. We had the Marines in the house. I mean, that's going to be hard to top that.
You can't top the Marines now.
And you can't top a championship day either.
There you go. Never forget that.
So this game here, as you said, Southwest Kansas got off to a quick start. They got a safety on you early. Then they came down and they scored early, 9-0 right out of the gate. And then you were able to spark back. Demarius Washington was able to get down the field, get open, scored in one end zone at the end of the first quarter, scored the other end zone at the beginning of the second quarter. So you're able to kind of stymie that early run and keep them at bay and have a lead early on in the second quarter. The start was, you really can't say much about it. I mean, a mistake was made on offense, the ball got by. Whether it was from the center or the quarterback, I always say the center quarterback exchange because you don't know what happened when the time happens. I'm sure you know now, but you're just kind of, at that point you're just kind of going, okay, we're going to have to deal with some adversity here early.
Absolutely, and the thing that I love about it is the people that were involved in it owned it, and we moved on. And that's the thing about this team that's different is it's not, oh, you're calling me out. I didn't say a word. Besides a couple choice words as I walked toward the bench and when I was on the bench, but I didn't speak to any player. I let my players and my leadership group handle that. And that's what we call the Liberty Way. And it's good that we have people like that on offense and defense. But to get back to what you were saying about D-Wash, which was when we've always been – when we needed to make a play, he's always been the one to make that play. And – for him to continue to do and play at the level that he plays at, I thank him for coming back each year, but you need to give him his flowers while he's still here. Yeah, he's a great football player. He's a great ambassador of the game. He loves the game. Like you say, when he comes to practice, that's like heaven to him. Like he goes just as hard at practice as he does in the game, and he'll hold you accountable, and he'll get held accountable too on some of the things he do, but he'll be a big boy about it. But when we need to make big plays, D-Wash has always, since I've been here these years, he's always made them, and I'm just so thankful that for one, he got us Charles McCullum. That's how that whole thing happened, and I mean, you got to give D-Wash his flowers while he's still here.
Usually I'm up in the luxury box, right, in the media. Things are so much different field level. So I'm by the big door in the end zone, and you guys have the football and going back down this way. I saw D-Wash come off the slot. It might have been in motion, came up middle of the field and did one of these, and the corner just went. And I think he put a picture of that on his social media. But when you saw him come off of that line of scrimmage with a full run, you just knew. You're like, I'm screaming touchdown, and usually games I talk all the time, I come out of there with a voice. This game I did not because I was yelling so much for you guys.
Yeah, me
but
too.
that thing was just like you could just see it develop from the backside, just watching him and just screaming down the field. And when he did this, it was over.
Yeah, and D-Wash is one of the most dangerous receivers to ever play, one of the most respected receivers to ever play. He gets a bad rap because when he catches and scores, he does what you're supposed to do, especially in leagues like this. And that's what I think, that this is not the NFL. This is not the CFL. This is not that. This is indoor football. This is arena football. And when you do something on the field, it's a business. You're putting on a show. And he's the true showman type guy. Like, that's what he does. And some people understand it. Some people don't. I'm one that didn't understand in the beginning. I ain't going to sit here and lie when I first had him in 2016. Yeah. But as time went on and then he came back to us and we got blessed that he came back in 2022 and he's been here ever since, that is something that it's made for TV. And in this league with being on CBS Network, it's made for what he does and how he can breathe life into a whole team just by antics. Is something that I've never really ever seen before. He's a very special and unique ball player, and Salina should be very thankful that he comes back each and every year and still put in the work that he puts in.
Yeah, so he was able to get a spark there going for the offense, and then, of course, you always have the kind of, I'm not really planning on it, but when it happens, it's so awesome, Aiden Johnson deuce. I mean, that's still going on consistently. Once you guys flipped into the field and he got away from the concert rigging, it's like, all right, here we go. We're going to score some points now, and he was able to do that for you. You guys are going all the way through here. You actually build a 29-12 lead. You go up 31-12 after the second deuce from Aiden Johnson. And then right before the half, Southwest Kansas hits what we were talking before the show might have been the perfect play.
Yes, I give it to him. It was something that I've seen the play before, but I've never seen it run like that in the position of the field that they ran it. And you got to give Coach Gary all the credit for drawing that up, dialing it up at the exact right time, and it worked perfectly. And it stole the momentum away from us going into halftime, and it carried on throughout the whole second half.
Yeah.
So you got to give Coach Gary his flowers, too, for what he's done and how he did it. And it was perfectly called. It was perfectly executed. And it took the whole momentum of what we did in that whole first half.
Little hook and ladder play in the middle of the field by Southwest Kansas. They end up scoring on that. That was the last score of the half as Southwest Kansas able to crawl back with another touchdown. It ended up being 31-18 at halftime. When we come back, we'll start to get into the second half. It got more interesting in the second half. It looked maybe like you guys might have been going to a blowout here, but anybody that's followed this series of Southwest Kansas and Salina should have known not to leave their seat. So we'll talk about the second half when we come back. We also had Ja'Cory Sullivan around the corner as well, part of our Precision Electric player profile. It's all coming up on the Coach O Show. It's brought to you every Tuesday here at AJ's in the Alley by Salina Medical Aesthetics.
When pests have become too much, it's time to call Hassman Termite and Pest Control. With staff having over 150 years of combined experience, we offer all services for structural pests: termites, ants, roaches, spiders, crickets, mice, and bed bugs. In our 60th year of our family serving yours, give us a call or visit us on the web at hassmantermite.com or see us on Facebook.
For over 30 years, Ryan Roofing has been the area's leader in commercial roofing installation. Over 10 million square feet of Durolast roofing. Now, Ryan Roofing is expanding their expertise to the residential properties to better serve you and your home. Shingles, windows, siding, and gutters. Call Ryan Roofing in Salina today for a free roof assessment and get the expert advice you need. Ryan Roofing, serving commercial businesses in the area for over 30 years and now working for you on your residential property.
Spring cleaning time! A wonderful time of the year. Winter is over and hope springs eternal. You have the windows open. The birds are singing and you can't help but notice that smell! That awful smell! What is that? That is your septic system backing up into your home, making spring flowers smell, well, like a friendly reminder from Salina Septic Service. If you haven't had your septic system pumped out and cleaned in the last 3 years, you are asking for trouble. Salina Septic Service. You better call today.
Salina Medical Aesthetics wants to help you look and feel your best. Whether it's a simple aesthetic procedure like a hydrofacial, peel, injectable, filler, or a new skincare line, our professional team will customize a personalized plan just for you. Salina Medical Aesthetics is proud to feature Beautifil, a body sculpting procedure that will transform your body with gentle liposuction to slim one area while adding volume to another. Visit us online or call Salina Medical Aesthetics today to set up your free consultation.
Back here at AJ's in the Alley, downtown Salina. A couple of sides here to the big building known as the Alley. One is the family fun side, bowling, laser tag, arcade games, all kinds of good stuff. It's $2 Tuesdays during the summer. And then here at AJ's in the sports bar side, it is buy one, get one free pizzas, anywhere from a 6-inch pizza all the way up to the big boy, 29 inches. No matter what size you get, you can buy one, get one free. Of course, the beverages, the bar. Pam always does a super job.
Absolutely.
She's like us. She's here every Tuesday.
Yeah.
And she does.
And I enjoy seeing her every Tuesday.
She is great. So we left it off now at halftime where Southwest Kansas had just scored. They bring it back now to a 31-18 deficit. And then they get the only scores in the third quarter. They get a field goal. Then they get a touchdown. And it's 31-27. And they go for 4 here in the third quarter and try to tie the game early on. you guys were able to stop that. And I'm a firm believer that defense kind of picks – there's points where you can go through and little things that most people don't realize were really, really big in the game. I think that was a really, really big spot, keeping them out on that four-point play.
Because if they get it, it's tied, for one. Two, the thing that we've hung our hat on ever since I've been here is our defense. And our defense stepped up at the most critical point of our season and made a huge play right there and executed our game plan of what we needed to do and did it exactly the way we drew it up. So in this game, though, I got to give them, their respect as well. Just to see Chandler at corner doing what he's done since he's been here, is playing at a very high clip. Freddie is another one, though. This guy has played at a clip that I've had some great DBs. I mean, Tuff Johnson, Jory Longoria, Gaddafi, Muhammad, all these guys that I've had that play for me, Michael Eby, some of the Javon Jackson. I could keep going on and on and on and on. This guy right here is playing at that type clip. And those are Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy right here, in my opinion, and I think it's probably the league's opinion, he's the best defensive player in the league. Period, bar none. The completion percentage against him is very, very low. He not only does he D it up with a pass breakup and things of that nature, he intercepts the football as well, and he comes up and support his flank and actually make tackles as well. Freddie's a guy that I know we've had on the show before, but he's making plays all over the field in every single game. And another one is Kellogg, is a guy that leads the league in sack. That our defense is why we are sitting here today, as well as – so it's our defense and it's Coach Martinez and his special teams. It's the reason we're here sitting here to this day. If we don't play great special teams and great defense so far this year, we don't win, period. When we do play well offensively and get all three going, then it's a really good game. But we have leaned on Coach Martinez's special teams as well as our defense the whole year, and this was no different. And I know you was talking about one specific play, but I wanted to at least highlight, what we have done very, very well. And I'm just proud of those guys, and I'm proud of the coaches that coach them and get them ready to go. So I just wanted to shout them out as well at this point.
And you're totally right. I mean, some of those guys that have come in later, have been, really, really good. Go back to Henry Kellogg, though. I swear I saw him in the backfield every play. Sometimes he was turned around to where I could see the back of his jersey and not the front of his jersey. Yeah, but he was in the backfield every single play. Travis Taylor was getting a lot of attention this time after the game that he had in Dodge City, which is understandable. There were a lot of guys in this that you can just go through. I thought Roderick Jarrett played really, really well in this game from that linebacker spot as well.
He's a guy that is an unsung hero because it was a new position for him, but he has a unique quality about himself. RJ can play any of the skill positions. He can play receiver, all three different receivers. He can play anything in the secondary. He can also play both linebacker spots if he chooses to play it, and he's great on special teams as well. Another guy that we haven't mentioned much on this show this year is Justin Foster.
Yes.
He had his best game. He was challenged this week. We brought a new guy in at that spot and played him, and Justin Foster stepped up big for us. It was the perfect time for him to have his best game. So I want to shout him out as well of how he played and did what he needed to do. Tappa's another guy. I've been wanting to get him on the show, but he works crazy hours here with, the different jobs that they have here. That's what we do in Salina. Yeah. They have jobs, and you understand it, but he's been playing football, and it's a position that they don't catch the ball, so it's not many eyes on them and cameras and things on them. But Tappa, from his first 2 years to this year, has taken that mantle as being one of the best linemen in the league. And it doesn't matter if we put him on offense or defense. So I also want to say that about him, and so happy that he did come back again to now get the recognition that he should have gotten before, but he's playing more consistent, that he's making people understand what he do. So I guess that's what this show is about today. I just want to give my shout out to the people that have done great work for us that we really haven't mentioned much, but because the eyes aren't really on them. But those guys really had big games in this.
Early fourth quarter, I think I remember this right. They went for the jugular. They threw one the length of the field, and they tested big play Freddie McGee, and he was able to pick that one off the end zone. I think that was also one of those gemstone plays in that game.
It was, and we brought it out in our team meeting on Monday. It was something that I challenged all three of my DBs. It was a clip that I saw on YouTube, and it was about the Kansas City secondary of how they were disguising and doing different things. And on this one particular play, they had it, and they did something kind of crazy and got a pick out of it. And we did something kind of crazy there, and we got a pick out of it too. But I challenged them to make zone look like man and man look like zone.
Sure.
And I challenged them to learn each other's positions that we can actually start doing what we need to be doing. And they took that challenge, and that was the play that all of they say coaches don't matter, coaches does. If I never say that to them, they wouldn't challenge themselves to do this. And that was a huge play in the game. And like I said, Freddie has made plays all year long, and I expect nothing but that from him. And then when he doesn't make a play, that's on me. He takes self-accountability of what he needed to do, and he's already coaching himself. That coach and I don't really have to say much to him. So a pleasure to have him. And like I said, he's the best DB in this league, and he needs to get his recognition and get his opportunity to play at the highest level.
Craziest thing you've done, he's made 8 people sometimes look like 10. That's also key. A couple other guys I want to throw at you, and again, relative newcomers to this game, but I thought they had really, really good games. Shai Hill, his numbers were good. He was really, really active along with RJ in that middle level.
Mm-hmm. And the thing about Shai is he was with Billings earlier this year, and we got an opportunity to get him. He came with us, and he's a veteran. He knows this game. And what he does is complements what Kellogg is doing on the other side. And it gave us the flexibility because he does play linebacker as well, and he plays well on special teams. Coach is always telling me about how great he does on special teams. But it gave us the opportunity. I could put Travis here, and they could do – it was just the versatility. But this was Shai's best game that he played for us. Mm-hmm. So he's starting to get his second win and starting to understand the scheme and knowing when he could take his chances and how to take those chances, and a very coachable ball player and a very physical, very athletic football player. So very thankful that we did get him, and we picked him up midseason, and ever since he's been here, he's gotten better, and this was his best game.
Somebody that played their first game with us, and you told me about him on 2 different weeks. Just kind of, hey, look at this guy, check him out, remember him. And I did remember him once you brought him up. And I cannot believe, for the size that he is, the athlete he is, the ground he is able to cover. I'm talking about Trey Harlan.
Oh, yeah.
There was one time he was in pursuit of the quarterback, took a dive, went down on the ground, got back up, came back across the field, and got the tackle. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, it's one of those, did you see that to people around you? But I thought he made an impact.
Yeah, and 325 pounds doing that. This is not 6'5", 325, and he's all man. And when you see him, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Very athletic, but he's also skilled. He's not just a brute, just power. He has power, but he complemented with great quickness, great athleticism, but also he won the championship with Jacksonville last year in the NAL. He's been around championships. He's played in big games. Yes, the first quarter was rough for him because he had to get back into playing. He basically got him right off the street to come and play in his first game, but he's going to do nothing but get better each week. And I think it's bringing a great competition between him and Justin Foster at that nose spot, and they complement each other very, very well. And what people don't realize is he was the one that blocked that field goal, and I think it was second quarter or so, second or third quarter, and we've been working, talking about this. He finally, we got in there, and I'm not going to say he had a 40-inch vert on that, but he got in there, and he got up there, and he blocked it, and almost tore my good shoulder up doing a chest bump with him. So I'll never do that again.
Yeah,
I've learned my lesson with his big play.
I would advise against that. Yeah, I mean, you just go through. I mean, you can talk about everybody that made an impact on this game. I mean, Kelvin McCoy, Trigg, Tapa, the guys up front, they were doing their thing. Chuck was able to get enough passes in good areas where he was able to score.
And just, I mean, all around it was a good game, and a game where you guys were tested by a very, very good Southwest Kansas team. Let's talk about the end of this game, because this was interesting. 34-34. You guys go for a field goal, and you miss it, if I remember right. So Southwest Kansas has the football, and they have about 3.5 minutes left, and they are pinned back at their own 5. Worse than that, because I think you guys got a sack or a TFL right before that. Right. So they're sitting there to 4th down plus yardage, 4th and 12, 4th and 13, whatever you want to call it. And I'm a firm believer that pressure makes cowards of us all at some time. And I think maybe just the crowd noise and knowing what was coming, and I think that just kind of made them a little uncomfortable. And I say this with all due respect, because I think Matt Struck played a super game. I mean, he was a one-man wrecking crew at times. But, man, when you leave just a little bit early and that ball comes out and you can't get both hands on it, you kind of see that from the end zone cam. They started sweeping left a little bit before the ball was totally there. And what do you know, Henry Kellogg's there before you are, and all of a sudden it's a touchdown for the Liberty. Talk about that play.
Well, it was the absolute play of the game. And Kellogg has been making those all year long. But, again, I want to give respect to our fans and the people of Salina that did come out. The noise was deafening. I couldn't hear myself. I'm talking, and I had to have my coaches turn your mic up, speak loud. I can't hear you. So it was very, very loud. And, yes, they had been coming all night long, and I think it was a combination of all of that. But the thing that still stays true is Kellogg was back there before the quarterback can – once the ball bounced one time, he was already there. Yeah. So how he plays, what he does, what he brings to the table, and he's very quiet. He doesn't say anything. He just plays football. Very, very excited about his future moving forward, knowing that it's probably he's one and done. It's like when John Calipari, he was the first one that did it at University of Kentucky.
Yeah.
These guys, I mean, he's leading the league in sacks.
Yeah.
He's double-digit in arena football. With how quick people getting rid of the football, he still have double-digit sacks, leading the league. He's going to get his opportunity. He should get his opportunity to play at the next level.
Still young, too.
Very, very young.
Yeah.
Just like Freddie, all these guys are young.
Yeah.
This is exactly what the NFL, CFL, UFL are looking for. These guys deserve their opportunity, and I'm praying that with playing on CBS Sports Network, their agents are working that to tell different scouts and personnel people, as I'm doing as well, to watch this guy, look at this number, look what he's doing. It's a great recruiting tool, and it's one of the reasons we came to the AFL is this TV coverage that helps our ball players get the notoriety that they need to get. And for Salina, little Salina, to be put on that pedestal, I don't know the last time CBS was in Salina to cover a sporting event. I don't know, maybe first time ever, but pretty cool to have that here in Salina and to do it at Tony's Pizza Event Center. It was a very special moment for me. It was my first time as a coach being on national TV, and I think the stadium did a great job putting on a great show. Our people that works for us did a great job doing what they do, and our players, more importantly, did what they need to do to make it an instant classic and win that football game.
Yeah, absolutely. And even the officials, I mean, you got to give them props too, because we don't talk about them a lot unless it's something negative, right? I mean, it's kind of like being a center. You never notice them unless they screw up. But I thought they had the right mix of knowing the time and knowing the kind of what this game means, that they let things play out a little. They didn't litter the game with flags. They called what they needed to call, but really just, I mean, that even goes up and down to the last play.
Absolutely.
They let that play go as long as they could to see if something could happen for Southwest Kansas. So here we are now. After you go get that quarter or get the recovery in the end zone and you score, of course they get another chance, and a couple seconds are on the clock. People are still alive in this game, right?
Right.
So Southwest Kansas throws a ball down the left-hand wall and get the ball all the way down to the 5-yard line. There's 2 or 3, maybe even 4 Liberty guys on the receiver for Southwest Kansas. The ball comes out. It's Ford fumble. It is recovered, and then somewhere around the goal line. And I heard a lot of comments from fans about that. And a couple of things here. I think the receiver was up against the wall.
That's it.
Yeah, going back to review.
All the other stuff after that, it was contact made by our defender forcing him into the wall. You look up at 0 seconds, so all of the other stuff is irrelevant.
But you came in hot, and I think that was your point that you were making.
That's all I was saying right there, because I don't want to hear nothing about it was this guy fumbled, he didn't I don't want to hear all that. He was contacted into the wall with 0.0 up there. There's nothing else to talk about, so what are we doing? And then after even all of that, the guy was like down by so what are we talking about? So all the conspiracy theorists that's out there, whatever.
It was wall. It was forward progress stopped. It was down by contact. It was forward fumbling to advance yourself. I mean, there's a lot of things. And I think once the emotion, it took about 5 to 10 seconds, but once the emotion came down, I think everybody understood that, and that's why we kind of went back to, where we were and kind of everybody getting along and everybody understanding the situation. But I thought the officials did a good job with it. 41-35, you guys get the victory here. Not a lot of points scored in the second half, but you're able to survive and advance. That's what it's all about now. The Final Four in the AFL are Billings. They're going to host the Nashville Predators, who upset, some people call it upset, the Nashville Cats upset the Orlando Predators. You guys are going to go to Albany to play the Firebirds. That's the Final Four. I was thinking on the way over here, and I was talking to Coach Martinez right before we went on. I don't think that you have been in Salina. I know you haven't been in Salina where you missed the playoffs. You made the playoffs every single year here. I don't think you've ever missed the semifinal, though. You've been in the semifinal every year, correct?
Yes, and it's something that I pride myself on, and that's why they hired me and what our ownership group, that's why we pay you the big bucks, because I produce. And I know it was a lot of question marks of us stepping up in leagues and things of that nature, but I think as a coaching staff, as an organization, as well as our players that we did bring in, I think the proof is in the pudding of what we put together collectively with, Sam being our GM as well. There shouldn't be any question marks of who should be the coach, who should be the GM, should we have a team in Salina, small market. I think we answered the bill on all of those different things, and win, lose, or draw these next games. I do care. I want to win them.
Yeah,
I'm not going to sit here and lie, but from where we started, 16 teams, and we're in the Final Four, and 2 of the teams are former CIF teams, I think that says that we were in a pretty good league, 1. 2, the owners that we have took care of business, and they stood on business when all this other stuff was going on, and continue to do it as we saw today, that we're going to continue to do what we need to do to give Salina something to be proud of and not be cowards to the things that come to us. And we look at adversity as an opportunity, not as a detriment and be negative. That's what this ownership group has done. The coaching staff, preparing our players to play every game, understanding what's at stake, and having them ready to go is a testament to this coaching staff. And for all those that said that, great indoor football coach, but he's going to struggle at arena, I'm at the same spot I've always been at. So thank you. Like I say, continue with all the hate. I love everything. I see all of it. Maybe I shouldn't, but I need all that. I need all that smoke, and it makes me be what I need to be. When you think you have respect, you have different coaches that have their perspective of why we didn't do this or why we didn't do that and why we didn't come to certain places. That's cool. But now you see us, and we'll handle it on the field.
The AFL podcast, those guys said something interesting on there, and they talked about the diversity of the game, how you have these kind of the old guard and the people that, that's the way we've always done it. That's the way AFL football should be. They brought up a good point, though. It's entertaining to watch because different teams have different strategies, and it goes beyond different strategies, but different formations, different. I remember halfway through the season, you're like, we're going to start running the ball, and we're going to zone, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. Why not? And I thought that was interesting. So what do you make out of that? My question is people that are like, well, this isn't AFL football. I mean, it's within the rules, right? So is it?
I call it's football,
yeah.
Right? So if it's football, I don't care how it was played before.
Yeah.
I don't. I respect the players that played it and how they played it and the coaches that coached it. But great coaches adapt to what you have, and you think outside the box, and you do things that's maybe not customary in that league. Mm-hmm. That's what great coaches do. I'm a football coach, not just an arena coach. But some of these guys are just arena coaches. Right. And that's what make them feel a certain type way, which that's cool. I don't have no problem with that. but we're winning.
Yeah.
And when you win, it is what it is. And we figured out different things that we can do, and I highlight our strengths and I camouflage our deficiencies. And the last time I thought, that's what I call a football coach. So they can call it whatever they want to, we winning. And doesn't matter what happens from this point on. It doesn't. We proved a very valid point that, one, a small market team can do it their way. Yeah. I don't care about the AFL way, the IFL, the CIF. We did it our way.
Yep.
And we still here at the end, and we have a chance to play for a national title game. Like you just said, every year I've been here, we played in the semifinals or better. So the proof is in the pudding. Thanks for all the hate. Continue to send it. I love it.
Well, that's evolution, right? It's the way things change. It's what makes the game so entertaining. You look at the NFL back 20 years ago, you had a Daryl Johnston, you had a Joel Makovicki, you had a Tom Rathman, who right now probably couldn't even play in the league because fullbacks are obsolete because everything is so spread out. Will we get back to that time? Probably. I mean, because it's all cyclical. But if it's within the rules and there's different ways of doing things, it's fascinating to me that you're going to have your system and you're going to go play some other team that has their system and they're not even the same.
Yeah, but if you are closed-minded as a person, I feel sorry for you because you're walking through life with blinders on. I look at things as it's a question, it's a puzzle, and I love to figure out stuff. So if we were just closed-minded like that, in the game of football, we would never even threw the football because, remember, that was revolutionary to throw the football.
Yeah. You only threw it on third down.
Yeah, Kellen Winslow playing tight end. Oh, wow. Gonzalez playing tight end. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Why are we do West Coast offense, run and shoot.
Yeah.
There are many different ways to skin the cat, but the thing is, the coach that figures those different things out they're ridiculed in the beginning infant stages of it, but if you look at their collective work, then you see how brilliant that person was to figure out a different way to get the same result, which is a win. That's all coaches are doing. That's why I'm like, I'm not an arena coach. I'm not an indoor coach. I'm not a high school coach. I'm not a college coach. I'm not even a pro coach. I'm a football coach. And when you're a football coach, you figure out different ways to get things done according to your talent. And the scheme in which we came up with is very different than what the regular people of arena football say, and that's cool. Don't hate on it, though. Mm-hmm. When you win, you win, and when you lose, it's okay, you lost. But we did prove a point of doing it our way, and we did it, like Mike Hirsch said, Liberty football. Yeah. And I'll end it with that. That's how I feel about all of that, and I don't care how it doesn't look like arena. If it's in the rule set, it's not illegal. Right. So it is arena football because that's the league we play in.
Well, and you always need those crazy guys that are going to draw up plays on napkins too, right?
Coach Martinez is legendary when it comes to the draw up plays on napkins.
You always need those guys. I love it. Winning and losing from here on out, with what has gone on this season and what everybody's been through, winning and losing from here isn't going to define you. And I love that because now it's just let's go have some fun. Let's play some football on Saturday. And so just your quick thoughts here. We have Ja'Cory coming up, but just your quick thoughts on the game on Saturday. I know it's a beast for you. It's a little bit of travel and it's things like that, but I mean, still, it's going between the walls, right?
But the thing is, when we went to Nashville, that was a bit of travel. When we went to Billings, that was a bit of travel. We built for it. We've done it. Yes. Is it ideally what you want? No. But, again, I look at every obstacle as an opportunity, again, if you come out of it successful, of adding to the legacy. That's all I want to do as a coach is continue to add to what I've already done. Like I said, win, lose, or draw, I'm still, again, first ballot IFL Hall of Famer. My win percentage is what it is. My record is what it is, so nobody could take that from me. But the way we've done it here this year in Salina is a testament to our ownership group, our coaching staff, our fans, and the community, and our sponsors, number one. Without them, we wouldn't even have a team here. But our players, more importantly, if they don't do it on the field, we don't have a team, and we're not playing for a semifinal game with a chance to play for the finals. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for our players.
Our Precision Electric player profile tonight is Ja'Cory Sullivan, and Ja'Cory is a guy that came in if I remember right, it was because of injury, maybe just kind of a necessity. You might have been eyeballing him, something I don't know about, but you had a receiver in the mix when we went to Dodge City for the game out there. There was an injury that happened. Then Jacory was inserted. We've talked about this before on the show. It was an impact on special teams game number 1. Then we go to Wichita, game number 2. He's playing receiver. He's catching touchdowns. He's burying defensive backs, still doing special teams. Game number 3, he's doing even more. And he had a chance to shine in this game. Jacory had a big play in the second quarter. He caught a 39-yard pass. Most of it was run after catch.
Absolutely.
I can't say this. I can't talk about this play without talking about Debo, because Kelvin came over and took a guy's soul up against the wall.
But before Debo was able to do that, I want to give credit to Caleb as well as D-Wash for the blocks they did to spring them to that point.
Yes.
Then Debo sealed it, and then Jacory did what he has been blessed by God, and I got a chance to meet his mom and everything. He's a blessing, because if you go back to it, this is 4th game. The first game was just special teams. Second game, he made a play here. Third game, he did one game. The third game, he just played DB. I mean, not DB, linebacker. And then the second half, then he played receiver. So each game, he's gotten his opportunity. He's never complained, never cried about it. All he does is, coach just put me in. I'm a football player, and we call it a joker that can play any position because he is like that. He is him. And I'm thankful that we did pick him up, and I'm thankful for Kerry, for one, of letting me know these different people that was down there, and Coach Hempstead that recruited that great team down there in New Orleans. I got to give credit to them. Those are all friends of mine, but this man has done yeoman's work with very infant beginning, very small beginning, and he just built and built and built and built, and I'm going to share it. So he sent me a little inbox thing before the game, and basically my response to it was, you a baller, but now let's show – I know you a baller, but now let's show the world, because it's on national TV, who you are. And we talked about it. That was the night before. So he comes to pregame, and he's shaking. He didn't even know I responded to it. So I showed it to him. He was like, respect. And then to go out and do that, that's my dog. I love how he plays. It's infectious how he plays. He plays for the love of the game. He's a true throwback ball player, and I'm so thankful he's here.
So we have you in college. We have Freddie. We have Jacory. There's a Michigan pipeline going on here, right? You got 3 guys from Michigan.
Yeah,
4 if you include yourself.
And the MAC conference is heavily represented here. The only bad thing I could say about, Freddie and Jacory, they went to the wrong school, because one went to Eastern, one went to Central. Western was that deal. Yeah. So, no, but all jokes aside, the MAC conference is a conference that's always been overlooked. And it's kind of crazy because, Randy Moss and Pennington and all those guys played in it. That was the beginning of people understanding that the MAC had something to say. It was kind of like when Outkast went to that award show and it was like the South got something to say. That's what these boys are saying. The MAC got something to say. Yeah, right. So I loved it. I loved it.
Games are never over. We're scoring in the 60s. Let's go. That's the MAC right there.
Yes, indeedy.
Well, I can't wait to talk to Jacory. And, I mean, it's going to be fun this weekend without a doubt. So, of course, CBS Sports Network, local time, Central Time in Salina. It's a 1:30 kick, if I remember. Albany is going to host Salina. It is number 2 versus number 3. If you look at the seedings, should be a great weekend of football. And then, of course, later on that night in Mountain Time, it will be Billings hosting the Nashville Cats.
And that's going to be a good game, too.
Yeah, I think four teams, 2 games that are going to be really, really good. And then the follow-up the next weekend, the championship game, is actually scheduled in New Jersey, and that is going to be a Friday game. Yes. So just kind of get everybody's bearings straight on that before we let Coach O go. Best of luck to you. Safe travels.
Alrighty,
more importantly, good luck in that game, too, as you go try to knock off another one, right?
There we go.
Just keep that winning streak going.
Chopping wood.
First ballot Hall of Famer Ron O'Neal. We'll be back with Jacory Sullivan after this. It is the Coach O Show from AJ's in the Alley, downtown Salina.
It takes hard work, passion, and drive. It takes retraining your mind and your body. But once you do, you can't be stopped. Salina Regional Sports Medicine, here to get you back in the game.
Kansas Wesleyan is proud to be Salina's hometown university. KWU has become the place to be, with enrollment up more than 30% over the past 5 years. Salina supports KWU in many ways, including countless work experience and internship opportunities. We're proud to give back by supporting more than 40 great organizations throughout the region. We can't wait to see what's next for KWU and Salina as we work together to better our community.
Salina Medical Aesthetics wants to help you look and feel your best. Whether it's a simple aesthetic procedure like a hydrofacial, peel, injectable, filler, or a new skincare line, our professional team will customize a personalized plan just for you. Salina Medical Aesthetics is proud to feature Beautifil, a body sculpting procedure that will transform your body with gentle liposuction to slim one area while adding volume to another. Visit us online or call Salina Medical Aesthetics today to set up your free consultation.
When pests have become too much, it's time to call Hassman Termite and Pest Control. With staff having over 150 years of combined experience, we offer all services for structural pests: termites, ants, roaches, spiders, crickets, mice, and bed bugs. In our 60th year of our family serving yours, give us a call or visit us on the web at hassmantermite.com or see us on Facebook.
Welcome back to the Coach Ron O'Neill Show. We're at AJ's in the Alley, downtown Salina. It is $2 Tuesday on the family fun side. Buy one, get one free pizzas here on the bar side as well. We do it every Tuesday here as we talk Salina Liberty football. And our Precision Electric player profile tonight is Ja'Cory Sullivan. Ja'Cory, finally got you on the show. I've been talking to Coach O, and man, I got to tell you right now, I've been a fan of yours since you stepped in the building, because first I kind of noticed it was special teams, right? Your first game, your first one down, you're getting tackles, you're notching things. Then the next game, you're playing a little wide receiver, making some catches. What I really noticed in Wichita when we played down there was your ability to lead a play and go block.
Yes, sir.
So Otis Odom was running an end around from right to left, and you took the DB on that side and absolutely buried him.
Yes, sir.
Scored a touchdown on that play. Then when we had the River Kings in the house, you start the game on defense, led the defense in the first half in tackles, switch over to offense in the second half, get 2 touchdown receptions. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, what is this guy? And so I talked to Coach Owl about it, and I said, what do we call him? Do we give him a position? He said athlete. So what does that mean coming from your head coach when he gives you that compliment?
It means a lot, man. I really didn't know what to expect, coming into a new sport for me, which is arena football. Everything is new for me, so just finding that love again, as I did coming out of high school as a kid, when I was playing every position. I think it means a lot to me to hear that coming from Coach.
I was giving Coach a little static too, because he's from Chicago, lives in Billings now, but he's a Michigan guy in college, right?
Yes, sir.
So him and Freddie have a little back and forth. You get involved in that at all since you're from Central Michigan?
I'm in the middle of it.
Yeah,
right in the middle.
The mediator, or
directly smack dab in the middle. So we do this thing in Michigan where this is identifies as a state.
Yeah.
Central, obviously, Central Michigan. So it's right here in the middle. You got Eastern and then Western over there. So those are our 2 rival schools up there. Yeah, we played a lot of fun games against those teams.
What's the Chippewa Nation like? Well, how was it to play there?
It was amazing, man. We've been through a lot. My class as a whole, we've been through a lot up there. We went through a coaching change in 2019. The season before that, we went 1-11. So the next year, got some new coaches. Made it to the MAC championship right after the 1-11 season, and then COVID happened, shut everything down, so it kind of stopped our groove. But we was able to bounce back into where we were in 2019. In 2021, took us to a bowl game and finally won against a Power 5 school.
Who was your head coach for that bowl game?
Jim McGillen.
Okay, yep, that's right. I was right there and I was thinking, but yeah, it must have been a blast to play for him. Yeah, you guys had some success up there. As you said, you were kind of set up, I think it was your junior season, to have a big year, and then COVID came in and shut everything down after a few games. But, man, you bounced back in your senior year and really had a nice season. What was the best thing about that senior year? A lot of people say it's the bowl game. Some people say it's the rivalry wins.
For me, it's the bond that you build with your teammates during all of that. We spent a lot of time together, and it just made every moment better. as we continue to carry out, meet our standards every day as far as team goals and stuff like that. So I think that's the biggest and the most important thing during that journey.
What was high school like for you? Has it always been football, or what was Ja'Cory like in high school? Were you kind of making decisions here and there?
Early on in high school, freshman, sophomore year, I was a little bit on the basketball side, and then I got my first offer from Central Michigan going into my junior year. So I'm like, okay, I think this is my calling, so I'm going to go hard at this.
So you made your decision early then?
Yeah. I just like to see everybody win. Basketball, I've seen my strengths. I'm not the greatest hooper, but I can get the job done.
Yeah.
I love passing the ball to guys and, seeing everybody else score. So I feel like when it comes to football, I was able to more so express myself as an athlete and let out a lot of things. Football is my happy place. And, again, the bond that you have with those teammates, I was with all my day ones. We all grew up with each other, so it make everything better on the field.
Yeah, I had to ask you about that because sports-wise, I don't envision you doing much else because you don't shy away from contact. So you're a physical guy, and that's one thing I admire about you. I was going through some stats here, and your senior year of high school is kind of a foreshadow of what you are now here with the Liberty, and that's kind of a do-everything guy.
Right.
So your senior year of high school, 570 yards receiving, but you also had 74 tackles and 5 interceptions.
Yeah.
So you were playing both sides of the ball,
Yes, sir.
obviously, there in high school, too.
A lot of those teams that offered me coming out of high school gave me the option to play both. I went to a running school, so that's kind of where the blocking comes from. We was instilled on that from day one, that blocking is going to be the answer, and I think it's a beautiful thing. I know on every team we have players that can make plays on that team, and it just makes it better when you know your capabilities as a player on the offensive end, and then you got a person out here blocking and making plays without the ball too.
Yeah.
It just makes it all correlate together, and it looks good. So
Yeah.
I'll take pride into that.
Central Michigan, you came out of high school, you were a top 50 Michigan football player. You went to Central Michigan, as you said, made that decision early on, or junior year. Your senior year, pretty good stats for you, my friend. You led the team in receiving touchdowns, and you had at least 5 receptions in every single game. That is an insane average to keep up.
Yes, sir.
So it was just the way the offense was flowing at the time, or just how did that happen?
Everybody in that class knew their role as a player.
Yeah.
I know my coaches was going to come to me when we have those big third down conversions and when we need to play. And I just stepped up to the plate. What's crazy about my senior year, though, I had a broken thumb. So majority of that was injured. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still not able to reach my full potential with it. But I'm grateful for that season, and I think I did pretty good too. Before that season, I made it a goal for myself to step it up on a touchdown. And I think the year before, or 2019, when I finally had my breakout season, I think I only had 3 touchdowns, a lot of catches. So I'm like, I need to get this number up, and maybe we can be working with something at the end of this.
I always like to talk to you guys about the transition from college, right? Because, I mean, high school to college, it's 1%. Go from college to the NFL, it's less than that. It gets chopped in half again. Making professional football, just in general, no matter what league you're in, it's tough to do. What did after college look like for you? What kind of things were you learning? Was there ever a draft possibility to the NFL? How did the XFL look for you at the time?
I think throughout my whole career, I kind of put my best foot forward when it comes to getting that next opportunity. So I did a lot of putting myself out there as far as the help from my agents as well, too. We all just, whatever workouts I can get into, taking a flight, however much it costs, just get it done, because at the end of the day, it's a chance to set up my future and for my further career. But coming out of college, it was quite hard, waiting to get my name called. When they did the NFL draft, didn't hear anything. I didn't even get a workout invite or anything from the league itself. So I just had to explore other options, just wait on the next opportunity to pop up. So what I did was, like I just told you, just fly around to whatever workouts I can get into. My agency had a workout in Houston, Texas, and that's where I got on with the Arlington Renegades, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, they drafted you through the XFL. So
7th round.
Yeah, so now you're all of a sudden you're in Salina, right?
Yeah.
And it's just kind of sometimes you look around, maybe you're like, how did I end up here? But you play for a coaching staff that genuinely cares about their players.
Yes, sir.
What was the initial conversation? Was it something that your agent handled? Was it a call directly from the coaching staff here? How'd you end up in Salina?
I got a call directly from the coaching staff. One of my old teammates, not old, he still plays with us. He's just
Be careful with that.
Kerry. Yeah, man. He put
Starks,
in,
okay, yeah.
Yep, he put in word from me. We was playing it together at the Voodoo before they folded.
Okay.
And we kind of all just separated and went about our ways. And I was just chilling one day, deciding whether if I should go back to work or waiting on this football thing to happen. And he gave me a call, said, yo, you trying to come up? And Coach Martinez called me like the next morning. You know, he's full of energy. Great guy, great guy to talk around. Sorry, Coach, but he kind of threw me off during our conversation. Like, on the phone, it's a whole different person, you know what I'm saying? And then when I finally get a chance to meet him, you know, this short, scrawny guy, man. But I love Coach Martinez, man. He comes with the same energy every day. Great coach, and he's very motivating.
You almost have to take a breath when you get off the phone with him, right? Because, I mean, it's a lot. But we love him. That's awesome.
Yes, sir.
So this team that you're on, you've been able to do just a little bit of everything, like I said. I mean, it's been special teams. It's been defense. It's been offense. You were able to – this play that you had in the second quarter of this last game was amazing. You had a stiff arm in there that was huge. You had great blocking out in front. Kelvin McCoy got a chip when you were taking off down the wall. You were able to take it all the way to the house. Just different things, man, that you do. What do you like most about this team?
The togetherness. Like I'm big on bonding. You know, I think what defines a team is how close you are together off the field as well as on the field. I think it all translates. So just seeing how these guys come in and compete every day and feed off the energy from one another. And one thing about Kevin McCoy, the first thing he told me when I first got out here after that first game, I think I made a block. He said, "Yo, man, the energy that you bring into this game is done a lot for him personally. So I feel like I'm uplifting my teammates with the things that I do. So I think that's the most important part out here."
You guys have this tendency, and I don't know that we've seen it yet. I don't think you've played your best football at all. Mm-hmm. But when you're around and I see you guys, even in warm-ups, things like that, man, there's a feeding frenzy getting ready to happen. I mean, because you guys are going to have this chain reaction down the line, and I think that's where your best game's going to lie, don't you?
Yes, sir. I definitely think so. Just a matter of spending time and working on our craft through the days we're not performing on that Saturday or Friday, whichever the case may be. Spending time working on our craft, fixing the little things is what's going to get us over the edge down the stretch.
What's the temperature been like in practice? How does everybody mentally as you get ready to go into the semifinal game?
It's been up there, man. We've been having some great days. Some guys been locked in. You know, it's not so much joking around anymore, you feel me? Early on when I got here, I mean, we weren't really playing anybody to begin with, but I felt like focus got a little away from us a little bit. But, you know, when the game is on the line and everybody knows what's at stake, everybody's been locked in and dialed into what their assignments is each and every play.
What's your opinion of this game that lies in front of you on Saturday? How do you feel about it going in?
I feel good, man. I think we owe it to ourselves. Being the underdog in situations has never been a thing that I shy away from, and I get that feeling that we are the underdogs approaching this game, and I think we can shock the world. All we got to do is just stay together and focus in on those little small details throughout the game, and we'll be all right.
Should be fun to watch. Again, the kickoff 1:30 on Saturday. Don't want anybody to miss that. It's going to be televised live once again on CBS Sports Network. That's a lot of fun. You can catch people like Ja'Cory Sullivan doing his thing in the semifinal as the Salina Liberty travel to Albany. My friend, good to meet you. I'm glad we got a chance to talk finally.
Yes, sir.
Safe travels, most importantly, and also bring back that win on Saturday, will you?
Sir. Thank you. I got you.
Ja'Cory Sullivan, our Precision Electric player profile. That'll do it for another edition of the Coach O Show. As we send the Liberty off this weekend, they'll go to Albany to play the Firebirds. Once again, a 1:30 kick coming up on CBS Sports Network on Saturday. Want to wish the Liberty best of luck and the Firebirds to a safe game as well. Coach O Show, another edition here on a Tuesday from AJ's in the Alley, downtown Salina. For Coach O, Ja'Cory Sullivan, my name's Devin Haney. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you again soon.
Sir, go Liberty.